Welcome to Lights in the Night, the show that's exploring the unknown, one light at a time. I'm Russell.
And I'm Max. We're talking UFOs, alien life, and the mysteries of the cosmos.
Is anyone out there? Tonight, we're looking for answers.
Join us, if you dare. The lights are on, and the night is calling.
Lights in the Night. It's time to shine a light on the darkness.
Hi everyone, welcome to Lights in the Night. I'm Max Duckworth, and I am joined by Russ and Dana.
Okay.
And if anyone wants to call into the show to ask a question, you can call in at 888-994-4995 Studio A. We're going to be here for the next 30 minutes talking about
UAPs. I mean, facetious. UFOs.
Yeah.
But, you know, the nomenclature they give it lately is UAPs.
Yeah, it's a fancy now.
Yeah.
Well, I learned another new one recently. It's unidentified underwater.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
What is it again? U.S.
Yeah, whatever.
Underwater submersible, unidentified submersible. USO.
True,
That's it.
true. Yes,
USO.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I was even going to try to help.
all of that is true. That, you know, you got the bases under there. Atlantis is down there. The Morals down there. All the big bases are down there. But go ahead under the Bermuda Triangle, the whole 9 yards, about 20 miles deep. Yeah, they had cities and all that stuff and tunnels all throughout the world. Go ahead. Dana, nice seeing you.
You as well.
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
What do you want to talk about today?
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead, take it.
You know, there's so many things we could talk about.
Sure.
We were talking before the cameras rolled about talking about, you know, governmental cover-ups. But this may be for another day or later in the conversation, but I really want to talk about how these light beings, these extraterrestrial beings, regardless of what they'll have us believe as far as their danger to us, and probably why the government's covering it up, because they want them to think they're a danger so that they can protect their power. Again, those are the cliff notes, but that these extraterrestrial beings are here, many of them, to assist us.
Right.
They have been part of creating humanity, and it's like parents. They're here to assist us, and the fear that's instilled in us. You asked, Dana, what do you want to talk about? Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you a little something. But the fear that's instilled is to protect the power, and if we can. Maybe humanize isn't the right word, but understand the humanity in these species.
But that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and if people understood that and understood the characteristics, understood their whys, their backstories, there'd be less fear for the fake alien invasion.
That makes so much sense because you referred to them as light beings.
Light beings.
But we were talking before the show that you adjusted your phrasing a little bit because you said, I think you referred you call alien, they might not want to be referred to as aliens, and maybe we should be a little more careful about how, I don't know, I feel like people just aren't even used to the
vernacular
phrasing.
Yeah.
And how like maybe some people are sensitive to that or other beings, and that's fascinating.
Well, I'll tell you something that's kind of funny. After I was with you guys a couple weeks ago, I reached out to a couple of my woo friends because people think the spirituality component, the woo, it's separate. It's not. It's all frequency. We're all beings. That again, we can get into that another time. But I asked them, hey, what would we call them the they? What would the they want us to talk about? And the first thing they said, and remember I brought it up, they're like, you know, the term alien's a little derogatory, you know? And I'm like, well, what about extraterrestrial? And my friend Teresa was like, you know, they're light beings because we are so myopic in thinking that everything should be incarnate. Like we're all in body, but there's energetic forces, there's energetic beings out there. They're light beings that are part of the assistance. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, by all means. But have you identified? I mean, how long have you been doing research on this, or looking at this arena?
How long? Probably the last 15 years or so.
Okay.
I've been super interested, but my experience is in the last 10.
Okay, your experience. What experiences do you have with them?
So my experiences are not, again, we talked about this before, they're not where, you know, little green men are showing up. It's communication telepathically or through channels, through, you know, trans channels with my friends. having this interaction. And what I've learned is the beings, at least that I've connected with, are benevolent and are here to assist us. And many of us, the souls on this planet, the humans, are of that descent that are here to assist.
Well, what benevolent ones are you talking about?
Talking about the Pleiadians,
Okay.
the Arcturians.
Okay.
Those are the ones that that I'm like, we're like bros, like we hang.
Right.
Like those are the ones I know. But there's so many other benevolent ones. You got Andromedans. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely, it goes on and on and on. But just as a quick estimate, since you've been dealing with it for the last 2 decades, how many species do you think was out there? As you listen to Billy Carson and Dr. Greer and others, or Elizabeth April or Dolores Cannon, how many think? Do you have any idea? That the people want to know that.
I think it's up there. I think it's in the millions, because when you think about all the different galaxies, but I think
Millions of species?
Yeah.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah,
But I think the ones we're most familiar with are probably like in the dozens, because I think that the closer they are to our frequency, the closer they are to our dimension. I'm not going to pretend like I totally know what I'm talking about, but those are the ones that are more hands-on. So there's like a handful. You got like the Lyrians and the Avians and the Insectoids and the Palladians and the Tall Whites and the Greys. Those are the ones that I think that everybody knows about.
Absolutely.
But there's, I think, millions beyond that we're not even
because
familiar
there are
with.
trillions of planets out there.
Yeah. And we, again, as humans, are so myopic in how we see they have to be humanoid. But what about the octopus?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
there's intelligence
The
that is
insectoids
plants,
and all that.
but
Yeah,
there's
sure.
intelligence that's outside what we're used to. 2 arms, 2 legs.
Yeah, I understand.
Humanoid.
Yeah, and the blue avians and all that. So yeah, you got a good sense of this, and that's great. I'm glad.
Yeah.
But when you see people, and you started talking about that, because quite honestly, I'm going to be kind, conservative. 85%, 90% of the people don't really believe you.
99% of the population is what my husband would say.
Okay.
He's just like, you just keep your mouth shut. And I'm like, oh, I'm going on camera today to talk about this, all right? See you at 5.
But how can, since this is UFO 101.
Yes.
Because I like to keep it basic, right?
Uh-huh.
Because we're just starting.
Uh-huh.
So what would you do to help the newbies, if you will, to understand that there is a possibility that we are made by them and put here and being observed?
You know what I would say?
Okay.
And it's funny because I walk with my husband every night. We go walk in the woods and we talk or whatever.
Okay.
It's our alone time.
Okay.
And I was just saying to him, we were talking about, and I'm going to be like vague or just read between the lines. There are stories on our planet about the origination of how we got here, stories of how we became who we are. And many people who buy into or believe these stories don't even question the veracity, don't even question the fanciful nature of it. Like if you really break down some of our Bible stories.
I was going to ask if you were talking about Darwin or the Bible.
I know the Bible, and I was trying not to be so obvious, but here I am. But when you talk about some of these stories and you really break it down, but because we have been, it's been part of our culture, many of our cultures, we all have different cultures, but many of us, we just believe it and we don't question it. And what I was saying to my husband is if you take those stories, Old and New Testament, you take those stories and then you put them next to what a lot of us really believe about how we really are here, it's just choose your weird. So why is this so impossible to believe, but this is the gospel? So all I'm saying is people should open their minds a little bit to really all possibilities, because when you do that, you'd be surprised at what is possible. So that's what I would say.
You mentioned earlier that you knew about Dolores Cannon.
Yeah.
What would you say? What would you tell the people about Dolores Cannon? They who haven't heard her.
Here's why I love Dolores Cannon.
Okay.
Dolores Cannon's passed, but here's what I love about Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon is an old lady. She looks like your grandma, right? She looks like you walk in and she bake you an apple pie. She's not like new age with like blue hair, and I'm so irreverent, with like, a nose ring. Like, she's not like out there doing the whole, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? She's just like a normal woman who was into hypnosis, and that was her career. And in her hypnosis, she accidentally, we're going back decades, stumbled upon a quantum hypnosis, and people would tell stories about being on different planets. It first went back to like past lives, and oh my God, you should read some of her books. They're amazing. And so she was finding all of these different experiences that corroborated with each other. Like, people were telling the same stories again on different planets and stuff like that, in between lives and all of this stuff. And she developed the QRR something or other. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and so she developed it, and people actually do this. So in doing that and her writing these books, she's written like a bunch of books like this thick, written these books that people are starting to open their minds to the possibilities of, oh, wait a minute, we could exist on different planets, and of
she's
the like.
written about 18 books. So do you know Dolores Cannon, or have you heard about Elizabeth April?
I mean, I've seen. I'm the newbie here. I'm new to the research, so
we are.
I haven't gotten all the names straight and all the theories, but like, it's all. I'm just like drinking it all in.
Okay.
Because I know it's all real.
Okay.
It's just a matter of when.
Why do you think it's real?
I mean, like you just said about you got this story here and then this story here, and it's like everybody believes, I think, one story because they're used to hearing it, and we're used to hearing the story that we're alone in the universe, but. Mm-hmm. I think it makes more sense that we're not. Like, with the amount of space and planets, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, for new people who may not believe it, questioning, a little apprehensive, what would you say to them, since you...
I mean, I would say, I feel like a lot of people who are apprehensive are afraid that extraterrestrials have a malevolent purpose. And while that's definitely a possibility, I don't think that's the only possibility. And I think people oftentimes ignore that. People think about the movies where aliens come and take over and, want to do bad things. But like, I believe they're already here helping us.
Okay.
Like, I think I think it's more likely that they're here helping.
Well, okay. Dana, what materials or websites or podcasts would you tell people to observe, listen to, besides Dolores Cannon?
Yeah,
I mean, she's written about 18 books.
Yeah, Dolores Cannon, for me, when I started opening my mind, it started with Abraham Hicks, which is a channel, right? And then it graduated to Dolores Cannon. So I do think for like 101, because again, spiritual awakening and openness to again, light beings, because we don't call them aliens, but light beings, it's all interwoven. So definitely Abraham Hicks, Dolores Cannon, Bashar, or not Bashar, Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar, and then Elizabeth April, I think, is an amazing resource. Not only does she, is she a channel, and she astral projects, and she knows what she's talking about, and I trust her. I'm just going to be honest. She's beautiful. She's young. She's like easy to watch and absorb.
She's
you know what I mean?
Years old.
Yeah.
And she started when she was 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Her father recognized the skills that she had.
Yeah, and
out of body mental telepathy.
Yeah, and
remote viewing and all of that. But she does all of that. So anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, what I like about her too is she's Canadian. So when she talks about what's going on in the United States, she's like totally unbiased. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everybody's got to pick a side, and she. What's gotten into me today? I'm like got the chutzpah today.
I like
it. But she's just like, hey, listen, this is what I remote viewed. This is what I saw. This is what's happening. I don't really care about your government, so take it or leave it. And I like that about her, because then I trust what's coming from her. You know what I mean?
How about Billy Carson?
I don't know enough about Billy Carson,
Okay.
and you brought him up. I got to look him up because.
All right. How about Dr. Greer?
Oh, Dr. Greer.
Well, tell me something about Dr. Greer. I'll get in the next 30 seconds, and then I'll take a break, and then we can come back.
What I love about Dr. Greer is his commitment to what he's doing and what he's been doing. He's intelligent. He's got the know-how. He's got the connections, and he's not afraid to speak out against the status quo. And he'll say straight out, there's a benevolent force. If they weren't benevolent, they already would have destroyed us, because we are acting out with our weaponization of our technology, and we're like kids with firecrackers blowing our hands off, not even knowing what we're doing, and they're being very patient with us. If they were malevolent, they would have squashed us already.
Long time ago, yeah. Well, let's take a break here. It's 15 after the hour. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a moment with Lights in the Night.
All right.
And more discussion, more questions.
All right, right on.
Lights in the Night is brought to you by Super Patch, revolutionizing wellness through cutting-edge neurotech patches that help you feel, move, and live better. Whether you're seeking improved balance, energy, or overall well-being, Super Patch has a solution for you. For more information, call 561-302-2588 or visit us online at ufo.superpatch.com. Take the first step to a better you with Super Patch.
We're back, and the night is getting darker.
The lights are still on, and the truth is waiting. Stick with us.
More mysteries, more lights in the night.
Well, welcome back to Lights in the Night. And this is Dano here. This is Max here. Max, what do you want to say?
So, well, I want to keep talking about what we were talking about
Okay.
before the break.
Okay.
And pick up on what you were saying about the...
Dr. Greer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, have you been to his website?
Yeah.
I mean, have you been to Dr. Greer's website?
Like I said, I've been to, I have so
It's-
many websites that
and
you've
it's
sent
so
me,
much.
and
It's so much.
it's a lot. But I like to dive in head first.
You know when he started? You little history of Dr. Greer. He was a surgeon in the ER, head of the ER unit somewhere in Alexandria, Virginia. In 1993, he started, and so ever since then, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, go to his website. He started with. He has 2 documentaries out that you do.
Disclosure.
Right. But 2 documentaries that are free to watch. If you Google The Lost Century, you watch that. It's about an hour and 15 minutes or so. And then he has one called Unacknowledged that he did first time. And 700 million people have watched that.
I saw that one.
Yeah, you saw that. Yeah. And people should watch that because he talks about the whole background of disclosure and why it's been hidden and all the secret government agencies and all that.
Yeah.
You're talking about the government agencies since we back again. Why do you think the government wanted this hidden from the people to understand it?
Oh my God, make yourself comfortable because I have opinions. Firstly, I believe the government definitely has technology. I believe that they've been trading. Let me just backtrack. I don't believe it's just the government. I believe that there's rogue agencies too that are doing the work with no supervision. So
like
now,
private entities?
I think so. I think this is what I think. I think shadow governments. I think that this is and trading technology, even secrets, with maybe even malevolent, beings to get, because think about it. Let's just think about it for a second. Think about all the people you know. Think about the people you know, via like government or Hollywood or whatever. There's nice people, there's not so nice people, there's people with good intentions. Well, this is just another layer of that.
Absolutely.
So I believe the people, this one agency is working on whatever they have with the technology, and I believe the government also. Now, Why would they not want us to know? Because if we, as humans, truly understood our capabilities, consciously, our capabilities and our abilities with technology, because say you have the material, you have the technology, but you have as humans what we're capable of. If we truly understood that, we wouldn't need them and they couldn't control us and they would lose their power. So they have to keep that from us, and they have to create a subliminal narrative that they're a danger, that the aliens are malevolent and a danger to us, because then when there is the invasion, then there's an excuse for military force, and we're going to back it. Similar to like that 9/11 mentality. Everybody's like, yeah, because we need to be protected. So this is just on another level. So I think the government has got a lot to lose if humanity understood, A, that they existed, B, that they're benevolent, and C, that they're here to assist us, and D, that they're going to help us step into our fullest potential. Government's done.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay. All right. And to that point, that Truman, back in 1947, created the Majestic 12, the CIA, and all that. And he had that information because 1947, a unique year. What happened? If you remember, Roswell, remember?
That was 1947?
Yeah.
I knew it was late 40s.
Right,
I didn't realize it
right.
was 47.
So he took that information and put it in the hands of a small cadre of people, and they keep it very secret. And so, therefore, even the senators and the congressmen and the presidents didn't have this information in 1947, 48 with Eisenhower. But Eisenhower,
he knew.
Yeah, right.
He had contact.
He had a meeting with him in 1952 and 1954. It's documented. And his daughter, great-great-granddaughter, Laura Eisenhower, has all that information. And we will bring her on one day to talk about the information that he shared with her. So yeah, that's documented that Eisenhower did meet with aliens and made agreements back in 1952 and 54. So a lot of people have that information. I'm just saying, there's a SSP, the Secret Space Force, that had that information and still have.
Yeah.
But the rest of the government and the senators and the congressmen and many of the presidents have very little information about all this. But now recently that's being exposed. Congressional hearings, have you come up with that?
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that a bit.
So back, I think 2024 that started? Mm-hmm. The one thing that I found interesting about the congressional hearings is there was a lot of whistleblowers that are afraid because they're being ruined. Like any other whistleblower, like you see, survivors come out and they become discredited. But there are a lot of people in the military coming out and saying, I've seen this, that, and the other. But the narrative is that's just for crazy people. Yeah. Like, I think it's extremely brave that we're sitting here having this conversation.
Well, now it's a little bit more comfortable.
Well, I wouldn't be here if it didn't become more comfortable. If I thought I was going to get burned at the stake, I might have stayed home today.
well, the other piece, we were not read in as part of the Secret Space Force. You weren't part of that. So the people who were read in, part of. Then they couldn't because the Men in Black would come and get them. You saw the Men in Black.
Yeah, it's all
real Spielberg.
Fact
and all
is
that.
fiction. Fiction is fact.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they just built, I think, the Space Force base, because I've been driving up to Jacksonville from here for years
where's it
now.
Where's it going to be located?
And all of a sudden I see these signs for Patrick SFB, and I'm like, what the heck is
Cape
that?
Canaveral?
It is Patrick Space Force Base that they've built up there in the past 10 years or so.
Sure.
And we have a Space Force base.
And they laughed at Trump when he said that they were going to do that.
No, Trump just changed it from where did you say, up in Florida?
In Cape Canaveral?
Yeah, they changed. He's making it in Alabama.
Oh, really?
In Huntsville, Alabama. He's making that.
Why?
Well, it's called money and manipulation. But they pressured him to make it. That's going to be the new Space Force base. So anyway, listen. There's so much facts, and I don't want to confuse anybody, but that's the real deal. And he made the Space Force as an entity, like the Army, Navy, the Marines, the Coast Guard. He made that in this first time around in 2019. as official.
And they thought he was ridiculous.
But yeah, the rest of the people didn't want to touch it. But
Trump is like,
but Biden and Barack, they didn't want to touch it. But they knew a little bit about it, like Kennedy, because they killed Kennedy because he wanted to.
They killed Kennedy? I don't believe it for a second.
Yeah, the CIA killed Kennedy.
Oh, you're kidding.
The government's on the up and up. What are you saying?
No, but let me do this.
Sorry.
A guy named Michael Seller. He's a very prolific, very respectful podcaster.
Okay.
And has written about 10, 15, 20 books. And he has a podcast called Exopolitics, right?
Okay.
He has a book out called Kennedy's Last Stand. Everybody should buy it. He says that he's documented that Allen Dulles had him killed because Kennedy was going to take over Area 51. But it's in the book. It's in the book. So we want to reference what people can go and research for themselves, right?
Yeah, for sure.
When you talked about briefly, and I want to get to this before we leave, but when we talk about going back in history, and people being afraid, do you remember 1938, the War of the Worlds, that Orson Welles?
Yeah,
right.
The radio
and everybody,
thing?
Right. That was one thing they said, don't. So the CIA said they put out a report called the Robinson Report in 1953, right? They did a research. They said, do not tell the people that we know about the aliens. Do not, let's had all the disinformation campaigns against that. And anybody, we said the Men in Black for people who want to speak up, who have all read in. So that was one. Then they came out in 1961, another report by the Brookings Institute to a report to Congress, 1961, about the implementation of peaceful space activities. They said, do not tell the people that aliens are here. Anyway, listen, we only got a couple minutes.
Okay.
I want to know what you think about the people being benevolent on the planet to help us, the aliens you said. Let's talk about that a little bit.
I will. I'm just curious though, because Max knows not that she's a newbie.
Right.
What are your thoughts about the benevolent beings helping us?
Well, like I said, I'm really confident that there's many or more benevolent than malevolent. I think most people think people are afraid because aliens are coming to Earth and they're going to do bad things.
Yeah.
But I don't think I really am confident that, one, they're already here.
Yeah.
The story you told the other week about being healed was just, that
incredible.
Was more evidence in the fact
Let
that...
me take just another 30 seconds or so for you.
Yeah.
When we talk about Zachariah Sitchin's and the 12th Planet, or looking at ancient aliens, or Chariot of the Guards by Van Daniken and all that, do you really think that the aliens created us as they intimated?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Right.
And I think that there's a lot more conversation. I'm looking at a clock. There's very little time for that conversation. But I will tell you, I have teenage daughters, and it is my responsibility to make sure that they go into the world and do not wreak havoc. So if the extraterrestrial species, because there's so many different ones that have a hand in seeding us, it would only make sense that they will care for us and guide us so we don't wreak havoc into the world, because we're all part of a greater system. So if you look at Florida is a state in a state of 50, right? So Florida's got to behave because what we do ultimately affects other areas. Well, as a planet, because we're humans. We can only think like this.
Sure.
But if we opened our minds, what we're doing, like our nuclear warfare and technology in the wrong hands, it's going to affect and ripple out.
Okay.
And
Dana,
they have, yes.
We'll pursue that in the next one.
And another thing.
No. I thank you. We only got a couple of seconds. Close us out. Close that. We'll continue that next week. Go ahead.
Thanks for joining us on Lights in the Night. I'm Max Duckworth. We have Russ Johnson, Dana Sardano. You can find more information at base211.com. Find us on YouTube at Lights in the Night 561. And thanks again for hanging out. We'll see you next week.
Dana, thank you.
The lights are fading, but the mystery remains.
Join us next time on Lights in the Night. Same time, same darkness.
Until then, keep looking up.
The night is watching.
Lights in the night, where the unknown illuminates.